Happy Wednesday, all. And thank you, as per, for listening and tuning in to Beyond the Dating Apps with me, CJ. We've had some fun. I'm going to jump into the episode, which is about loneliness and cuffing season. For anyone that hasn't heard of this saying, it is something that happens in the winter months. We will get to this. But what I wanted to do is highlight firstly new subscribers. Thank you. I'm like 42, 41 now. So we just keep going up. Also, the comments following last week's episode, which really hit a nerve with some people. And actually the push that I'm feeling towards creating an anti-con artist dating agency. I'm not sure how this is panning out, but please know I've been receiving stories from people. I've been receiving names of agencies and matchmakers and coaches from all around the world that people have felt scammed by. So if you do or have experienced that, please get hold of me, cj.lgio@hotmail.com. Okay. I really wanted to get that out there because last week's episode really hit a storm, and it was really interesting to see who came out following that episode. I won't divulge all information, but it was fun. I also, as I said, wanted to shout out to new subscribers. The amount of love I am receiving from doing this has really helped me feel good about what I'm doing. So thank you. I love this subject, and it doesn't matter what week we're on and what I'm talking about. It's about humans and how we connect and how we can connect better. So I'm really glad I'm starting to build this army. It's cool. It's cool. Today's theme is rife. We know this. We know that the loneliness epidemic is a thing. It's not just in men. We are seeing a rise of it in women and with young people and lower income people, but I'll get into that. And also, like, it was something personal to me. For anyone that is single, and I assume because you're listening to me, you are, the weekends from about 7:30, 8:30, it really kicks in when you are single. And if you're not, filling that time with dating apps or whatever else to try and get that, dopamine hit or to find love, you are sat with yourself. And it really hit me this week that there's a lot of people that are not as fortunate as I am, that I can, in that moment, and I did text a friend and said, can you just sit with me for an hour and have a coffee? We get lonely. That's an understandable feeling. So I thought an episode for us all to see that we're not alone if you're feeling it, and what we can do to help it. And also just to give you an insight into what cuffing season is and why I'm talking about this with loneliness. That's the show today. I'm also going to be doing an random Am I the A-hole as well, because we can't forget them. Let's jump into the show. I wrote here, what is loneliness and how bad is it right now? And we're very fortunate that we have lots of very well-known, solid companies studying this. So World Health Organization and Office for National Stats is where I'm getting this information from. This was released in June 2025, and it gave me a real clear idea of how lonely we are all feeling, not just single people. So I'm going to read through some of them. We may talk about them. Let's go through it. Again, it was just to highlight the problem. One in 6 people worldwide experiences loneliness. 1 in 6. And loneliness is linked to, and again, this number, but still 871,000 deaths every year. So that's around like 100 deaths every hour, every single hour. And they're saying that that is linked to loneliness. And then we also have the increased risk of mental health, dementia, heart disease, stroke, and premature death, however that may be. So loneliness is very much there and out. And what I found interesting is the new terminology. So on Office for National Statistics, we have it shown a 7% rise of adults reporting chronic loneliness. So around 3.8 million people are claiming to feel this chronic loneliness, which is breaking my heart. So it isn't loneliness just being single, you know, this is couples, this is families, this is anyone who is feeling lonely right now. And it really sat with me that maybe with all this technology and all these ways to stay in touch with people, we've become more disconnected because the quality isn't there of the connection of your friendships or of your partners. Or if you're single, you haven't got them people around you. And this episode is highlighted to everyone. I'm aiming it at my single folks, but it is at everyone. And I looked around, and I know the news is really heavy right now, and I know there's so much going on, but I feel like loneliness is ignored. It's like a private shame. Yeah, it seems to be the biggest killer, and it's getting worse. I had to highlight this so we all know, okay? It's a problem, and I see it, and I can see why it's happened, and I do put it down to quality. So that's the like doom and gloom of how sad and lonely we're feeling right now. And I thought, with the cold creeping in, I'm feeling it, not as a woman, my heating is on, I can feel it. And again, on the weekend, it was really felt that aloneness and that loneliness creeping in, and because you're colder, etc. So I thought, let's go into cuffing season. Now, I'll read you the terminology from the Urban Dictionary, which is where the term like originated from, and it refers to being handcuffed or tied down to a relationship during a time, or often ending around Valentine's Day. So cuffing, handcuff. And it's really interesting because we're coming into like that October period now where it's going to get darker and it's going to get colder. So the definition here that I found was cuffing season is the period from fall to late winter. So roughly October to March, just after that Valentine's period. And it's when single people seek temporary romantic partner to share the colder months with, driven by a desire to combat loneliness and enjoy seasonal activities with a plus one. And we all know that, whether that's New Year's, 10 at a family's house with, you know, everyone coupled up and you're not, we really feel it during these colder months. And actually, I did some digging, and dating.com saw a 30% increase in platform activity between November and February. So we're really seeing that we are, as singles, it doesn't matter if we pull away, we are jumping back on during these periods of time where it is colder. I did write here, I don't know, I guess it's useful, but at the same time, I don't think I'm teaching you anything new, that the people feeling lonely in fall and winter, 60% reported using online dating to, you know, relieve the anxiety or sadness of their months. So again, it's showing that we were jumping on the dating apps for different reasons during different times. This is cuffing season. So because we've got shorter days, less sunlight, we have the seasonal affect disorder, whether or not you are diagnosed with it or not, it is seeing that the body is needing comfort in that time. It's needing heat. Social holidays, family pressure, as I said, when you are the third, fifth, seventh, and ninth wheel. I've ticked all them boxes. And we're, as I said, we are seeing a data influx during these times. The interesting thing to take here is, even though we seem to want to get into a relationship and during these months, and you know, it's about, you know, seeking your partner, your person still, and keeping warm, ultimately keeping warm, we did see that two out of three relationships created between the months of October and March ended. So again, not gospel, but what we saw is that actually the winter months were creating relationships for comfort and then ending when spring came, when people start coming out. So is it really connection, or is it just loneliness avoidance? And we can understand why we feel the need to, you know, climb up to a human or steal someone's hoodie, or, you know, have a human next to us with their heat, etc. Because if we look at like from the caveman point of view in the cave times, that's how we survived with each other, by grouping up, coupling up, having someone to share that body heat with. So it makes sense that even in 2025, our bodies are still in that like craving warmth, comfort frame of mind in the colder months. I wish we could hibernate, you know. I thought what would be really helpful, because I had to sit with it myself this weekend, is how to help yourself during these moments, because it hurts and it takes a lot to talk to yourself and like let's go do something that's going to positively impact me rather than just cover up how I'm feeling. So again, this is the World Health Organization who threw out some of these, but they also highly emphasized that it is about the quality of your social connections. And whether that's a study done from Harvard over a period of how many years, 45, 50, 60 years, that also shown the same, that the quality of your relationships really do help you here. So being single and having a good quality friendship is going to help you, despite you not being able to, you know, maybe have sex with them or physically like snuggle up with them, but it will help. Things that reduce loneliness, honest communication about expectations. So in dating, please say what you want rather than saying what you feel the other person wants to hear, just so you get that person. Invested in friendships, hobbies, communities. I know we hear this a lot as single people, but throwing yourself into a community or a group of people for something that you're passionate about really does help. It really does help. And you may come away from it and have that, you know, immediate like lack of dopamine, and you may feel really lonely in that moment, but actually throughout that time and time over that, you will feel better just from forming genuine connections. And professional support, like last week, I'm all for people asking for help and getting help from people that actually know what they're doing. And therapy and talk therapy, somatic therapy, whatever therapy, anything like that to help you so you're not alone. You can have someone there, and they're paid, so it's even better. Again, choose wisely. The end of this for me was that cuffing is a choice, and we, regardless of where we are in the year and how cold we are or how lonely we feel, dating and getting into new relationships involves honest communication about wants, needs, and desires, regardless of how lonely you feel. So it is about checking yourself, that you're not distracting yourself. I also had it added here. So small, regular social investments. So make a tiny habit to like call a friend a week or attend a class or a hobby group. It's awkward, it's uncomfortable, but you get over it, and people are actually really kind. The internet clouds us sometimes, me included, and actually when you get out there to your people of something you're passionate about, you remember that there's the internet and then there's real life. Reframe solo time. So it is about, oh, you know, I'm not so sad. This is about me using this time wisely, whether that's reflection, personal growth, pursuing something you love, learn a new language. Okay. Even if you're just sat with yourself enjoying that moment, reframe that as that you're choosing to do this. Be intentional with expectations. So know what you want out of a relationship, like the deep versus surface talk, the short term versus long term. Be clear. You've got time to really understand what is going to work for you or what you want. Use this time. Mind and body care. Move your body. Run in, as much as I hate to say it, saved my ass this year. And it may feel like the hardest thing in the world to go do, but the endorphins and oxytocin that you feel following doing that and feeling proud of yourself does help your frame of mind. And you feel like you've had yourselves back, you've got your back, and that really helps as well. Sleep, diet, this standard stuff that we say to look after yourself. Daylight, I know it's dark, but that is daylight. Please put your head out there and make sure you are seeing the sky. And as I said, like therapy. So somatic therapy is more about movement. We've got breathwork classes, meditation, yoga, Pilates. All of these will incorporate your breath and your body aligning. Quality over quantity. This episode's gonna like repeat itself, but that one close friend versus many friends, there's real value in that. And I think we may have been taught that you should want a big group of friends and you should want loads of people around you. But actually, it's very nice having secure, quality, small amount of friends. Volunteer, help others. The volunteers are needed everywhere. Again, try and do it in something that you give a shit about. So we've got Salvation Army, Help for Heroes if you're ex-services. You could, if you, I don't know, if you like art classes, you could help with a disability art class or a mindfulness art class. There's so much volunteering that can be done, and you can find something that's going to suit you and your enjoyment. Digital memes. I wrote this because I can't deny it, but I write with a heavy warning, use wisely. Please, like online groups are really helpful, but use them wisely. We've had years and years of education. If you do want any help with algorithms and how to sway your algorithm into a more positive, supportive content being shown to you, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to help. And my biggest thing is challenging negative self-talk. So during this time when you're feeling lonely, it's very easy to beat yourself up and think that you're the problem. And things like I'm unlovable and I'm single because, I don't know, no one cares about me. This sort of talk is not helpful. So as soon as you hear that and that creeps in, you need to be catching that in the moment and challenging that. Okay? Journaling. Try being kinder to yourself and reminding yourself of the past experiences that you've had that to get you here now and how awesome it's going to be from there. Very positive. Okay. I hope you're able to take something away. I know it's quite generic where it's eating right or joining groups or being intentional with dating. I think all of these add value to you. And then as a result, you will feel less lonely because you are value to you. And then as a result, you go meet someone. It's a win. But please know you're not alone. And it's hard. And that's okay. But don't sit there beating yourself up, please. I'm going to run into Am I the A-hole? And we're going to wrap up the show. Hi, CJ. I'm a 36 single dad in London. I can't splash out on fancy restaurants, but I still want to date seriously. I've had women tell me I'm tight when I suggest cheaper options. It makes me feel like I'll always be judged on my bank balance, not who I am. Am I the a-hole for sticking to what I can afford instead of overstretching just to impress? No, sir, you are not. I see a lot of these videos, again, internet talk, real talk. I see so many videos of this actually being real life. And it's so sad like that we are hearing that a fancy restaurant's needed for the first time you meet someone, or that someone would much prefer to take you to somewhere they would go rather than an expensive fancy restaurant if you probably don't like each other. No, you're not. And I think that the person calling you tight is really interesting. We're in a world now where dating's hard and time, money, energy you put into it does cost a lot more than it ever did. So please stick to what you would prefer. We don't want to mislead anyone. We don't want to pretend that we're something we're not. So no, you are not the a-hole, sir. Next one. Hi, CJ. I'm 41 and live in a village in Cornwall. The dating pool here is tiny and everyone knows everyone. I've matched with people who turn out to be mates of an ex or my cousin's co-worker. I feel like I can't escape the gossip. Am I the a-hole for wanting to give up dating altogether because it feels impossible in this small place? You're not the a-hole for thinking this. However, there is more of a pool than your tiny pool. And in 2025, we have access to lots of people that are not in our area. This is a problem they had 50 years ago when meeting someone. We don't find that now. At the same time, if you are going to date in a small town, I feel like that's accepted, that you're probably going to date your, cousin's co-worker or a friend's ex. It's about having them conversations. So please, don't give up dating. You're not the a-hole for wanting to give up dating, but stretch out. Go outside of your pond. Guys, that's the end of Am I the A-hole on Beyond the Dating Apps with CJ. It's been fun, and I hope that you can take something away, and I hope you feel less lonely because I'm here. It isn't going to go away, but we can manage it, and managing it and enjoying it and accepting it makes being in a relationship when that comes a lot damn easier. So enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening all, and I will see you next week. Please throw any suggestions my way on what we can talk about, because I love that. I want to hear from you. And yeah, have a good evening. Bye all.